Oh my god. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm live right now. Didn't know that actually. Let's see. Ah. Let's see. Okay, so I have this in real time. What's up, everybody? Okay, I'm just finishing setting up. I'm not gonna set up a shopping app. Oh, friends. Oh, friends. Oh, friends. Interesting. Okay, sorry. I'm learning. Looks like there's a lot of newer stuff here. What the heckity doodah? Okay, let me see what's up. Sorry, friends. Let me get get situated. I didn't realize that the second I hit, this is gonna sound stupid. The second I hit go live, it went live. Whatever. It's not how it works. Okay. Let me. How do I even like hear myself? Why is there so much new stuff about this? Okay, give me a sec. Okay. Making sure everything is good. Okay, I'm doing a fake record, practicing recording, making sure my mic's good. Okay. Let's see how that came out. Okay. Making sure my mic's good. Sounds good. I do want to do it through a voiceover, though. Only. So what's everybody else up to today? I solved drunk driving, for the record. I found a way to stop all drunk driving from ever happening ever again. It's basically, we just have to make sure the person is inebriated before they take the test. So that way, if they're, a good drunk driver, we can get rid of them. Wait. I need to think about this more. Please don't take this to the feds. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to go over some new episodes today. I really have to go through Unfabulous, unfortunately. Unfortunately. I mean, I don't know if I could edit with you guys, can I? No, that would be kind of crazy, actually. Okay, let me get this going on. Okay, I'm gonna have to put it as super small down there. the Unfabulous stuff because I want you guys to see what I'm talking about. I can't let it be can't let it come out. Let's see, Unfabulous. Who here has seen Unfabulous? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I guess I could just put up a graphic actually. Oh wait, I have this. I'm going to use my video. One second. Oh, my YouTube propaganda. I watch a lot of YouTube videos. Oh, I guess I could just pull up Unfabulous. Okay, hold up. So I did the first 4 episodes of Unfabulous. Season 2. I mean, I could always work backwards. I just saw the finale earlier. Oh my gosh, it's kind of crazy. I don't know if I could say bad crazy though. I don't think it's bad crazy. I think it's normal crazy. I wouldn't say good crazy, but I wouldn't say abnormal crazy, if that makes sense. Of course it doesn't. Dang, I did my Unfabulous video literally like 5 months ago at this point. That's kind of crazy. I thought I would follow this up quicker than I did. Yeah, I just want that picture. Sorry, going on my YouTube right quick. Oh my gosh. Okay. Save image. Downloads. I can't believe how long this is taking, guys. I'm so sorry. I literally just want to put up an image. It's going to be huge. Oh, it's small. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, here we go. We're my Unfabulous likers. Ah, too big, too big. Okay, I do like the way that looks, though. That's kind of cool. Oh, gosh. Okay, here we go. So let's see. We're going to talk about... Oh, hey, kitty cat. Kitty cat. Okay, so we're going to start with Unfab. I'm going to have to turn my chat off for now because this is going to take me a second. Oh, I guess I did do Life with Derek as well. We just finished shooting my musical this weekend, though. That's an exciting feat. I will not forget that. Let's see. Okay, Day after day, it's unfabulous, and everybody around me is unbearable. I'm gonna be your dad, unstoppable. Not legally, though. You can't actually be somebody's dad, like, after they'd already been born. Don't hold me to that, though. I don't actually know why I even brought it up to begin with. Okay, let's see. Okay. Yeah, Unfabulous is a surprisingly good one. Okay, got the Rhinoceros, the iRandy, the Road Trip. Oh my god, this one is so annoying, actually. Okay. Let's see here.
You want to head over to Juice later and try the super extreme jumbo smoothie?
No matter how good or bad you think things are gonna be.
Let's see.
Different. This is one of those times.
Day after day, it's unfabulous. Okay, this is really hard to do all once. Okay, so I got that. I could probably make this smaller. Be patient with me, guys. This has been a while since I've done them live streaming. It's been a whole year, since 2026. Okay, I'm trying to like put this chat somewhere decent. How do people do this? Okay, that's okay, I guess. And now I just need my... Okay. Where did I leave off? Okay.
There's always next year.
There's so much I want to show you. Latest in Libres. So there's
no birth.
Okay. I just need a quick refresher on this episode.
all of them. Made like 5,000.
Why do I forget what this is about?
For years. Let the fun begin.
Bob. No, nothing. It's really boring here. Not hungry. Yeah, I've got to.
Okay. So episode 5 is called The Road Trip, and this one's kind of confusing because I thought it was going to be about road trip. Sue me, why don't ya? Literally, like, wouldn't this... I don't know why they named it this, because it is not about a road trip at all. It's not a bad episode, it's just the expectations on my part were not met, and I'm pretty disappointed about that. Not saying it's, like, super negative, just saying it's not super positive, if that makes sense. Okay, and I paused it already. This is crazy. So for one, Addie is still dating Randy Klein. Okay, cool. We don't have to worry about this Jake Bahari nonsense. This is one of those, like, normal teenager episodes. If anything, it is one of the most generic I feel like I've ever seen. The whole premise is that Addie's dad is going to be going to a car show in which the whole family was going to go, but now it seems like Addie is pretending to be sick.
Turn out different. This is one of those times.
The writers kind of did a baller move here because they have the entire ending of the episode literally in the first, like, minute, and you'll miss it if you don't notice it. Basically, the dad opens the kitchen doors to find a bunch of party supplies fall out of it, which means, okay, we learn that there's going to be a party and that this dad is going to find out about it, which is even crazier because what does this have to do with a road trip? Let me go backwards a little bit. Baller move. Thank you for liking the setup. So Addie pretends to be sick so she doesn't have to go to this car show with her family. It's usually this family road trip. Uh-oh, she's too old for it at this point. Surprise, surprise. So she pretends to be sick. It's such a fun show.
So, how'd it go? No way. You bought it? Totally. I'm home alone.
Latest in knee braces and
What? Choco Krispies.
It could work. No, it couldn't.
Sweetie, that is the worst cold I ever heard.
Oh, cold. We'll come over there. Your house minus parents equals super fun. Great.
An interesting conflict in this is that Ben is trying to throw a party throughout this thing, but he didn't intend on Addie being home. And Addie's just trying to hang out with her friends, so it's not necessarily like she's into the party quite yet, but it does quickly become a sibling rivalry thing. Who is going to get the house while the parents are away? We see Ben telling everybody at work to get ready for this party. Even his work crush is like teasing him and trying to be a part of it, even though she doesn't really want to go. This is an interesting romance between the two. I feel like it's just him vying after her a lot of times, yet they work together. I don't know. It's not a good move on his part, but hey, he's a romantic. How can you blame him? So Addie gets away with it. Her parents actually believe it, and she finds herself going in with this commitment to her mother that she will call her pretty much all the time. Or no, sorry, the opposite, where her mother will call pretty much any time and every time just to see if she's okay, and if she doesn't answer the phone, she's going to be concerned. So that actually gives her a reason to need to be behind this phone all night, which, by the way, would not be hard. I really feel like she's overthinking this. She pretty much turns this entire party to have to go back to the phone any chance she could just to keep this secret. Meanwhile, the party gets out of hand. Zach and Gina invite themselves in, which Ben, of course, doesn't want because he doesn't want middle schoolers coming to this, but they do anyway.
Clock? It's 10 o'clock.
Like I said, one of the most generic plots ever, hiding a party from your parents. They did it on Drake and Josh. They did it on every show, essentially. Addie even realizes that she missed one of the phone calls that her mom made to her, so when she goes back to her room, she finds some random party goer on the phone with her. And this guy's like hitting on the mom. He actually thinks he has a chance, which I don't know, maybe he does. The car show is kind of bothersome to the family, so maybe he could slide in here. So, of course, the parents end up insisting that they're going to come home, maybe because Addie's sick or something, or they're just suspicious. Point is, they're on their way. Everything becomes a race to try to get this entire party erased from the eyes of society. I don't know why I put a randomly colorful verbiage on that, but yeah, so everybody is hiding the party. They end up kicking everybody out. And Ben, his girlfriend, this girl he's crushing on, and Gina, Zach, and Addie are very, very quickly trying to tidy up the whole house. They inevitably do it and kind of get away with it. I should do like a tally on how many times the kids actually get away with something like this versus like actually get caught. I can't think of a single episode where they had a party episode and the kids didn't get caught. Like, I think that's the moral of the story. I don't know why adult writers would ever be like, oh, by the way, you might be able to get away with this sometimes. It's like, no, I definitely think it's impossibly hard to get away with something like this. And yeah, so it's kind of sweet because Addie and her brother like kind of bond over this situation, and it's not like Life with Derek where it's romantic. It's actually genuine. Like they seriously look out for each other in these scenarios, and you gotta appreciate that. The parents come home, and it seems like everything is going to be gotten away with until the dad ends up finding all the stuff from the party in the closet, which is kind of a great full circle moment because, we saw that at the very beginning of the episode. Again, baller move from the writer's perspective that we actually see the ending before the entire show. And yeah, so moral of the story, they don't get away with it, and we have a happy time. So yeah, that's the road trip. We're pretty deep into season 2 at this point, and I feel like it's got a lot quirkier. The characters feel like a little bit more natural, and they kind of like know what they're going for. Season 1 felt a little bit more robotic, but I like kind of where this is headed. I just like that it's kind of taking a break from the whole Jake Bahari thing. Like, I do care about how these characters act outside of him. Okay. What's up, everybody? Sorry, try not to look at these stats too much. I don't want to get too into it. I wish we got more Rugrats episodes too, but it's too late. Okay. Let me just very quickly double check I even know what this episode's about. I like watched all of these at once a while ago, and now I'm kind of blanking. Because I've watched so many shows. I watched like the 3rd season of Life with Derek. I've watched like, how am I supposed to do all this? Yo, what's up? How's everybody doing? As told by Ginger, I've very, very, very rarely dove into. Other shows I might be doing today, I think I'm going to have to jump into Life with Derek again. So yeah, that might happen. But it depends how far I get with this. Season 2 of Unfabulous is a little bit longer than the normal. Tyler, I hope... Yeah, I haven't seen you in forever. I miss you. Okay, let's try another. Okay. This next episode kind of reminds me of... So the next episode we have is 6, The Charity Case. And this one kind of reminds me a lot of that season 1 episode where they had to like get into different social circles and Addie became like a popular girl, which I thought was like a really interesting take on a normal sitcom episode. This one is kind of not doing that. This is like the more generic version of that. It's basically Addie and Gina versus Cranberry and Maris, and they're trying to create the perfect charity. It's the same teacher from the last season, which I don't understand. Are they in a new grade or what?
Wow. What are your graded? That costs like $10 off.
Hey, everybody.
I didn't do that.
Of course, I'm going to do more Victorious. I'm always going to do Victorious.
Day 1 of Charity Week.
I'm starting to pick up that Maris and Cranberry do this thing where they like twiddle their fingers at each other and say burn, which I can't imagine the origin of this because they do it on Hannah Montana as well. Like, what is this whole popular girls say burn thing? Like, does it come from the Burn book from Mean Girls? Like, how did the 2000s adopt this narrative? You tell me. I have no idea at this point, honestly. But it feels kind of inauthentic. I don't even know which show came first at this point.
Except for one thing. I'm freakishly uncoordinated. How about this? Hard smell. The tools of my trade. I was hoping someday you'd take over the family.
Give to the heifer house.
Oh my god. This part is the most traumatic for me. So they decide to just like make CDs of Gina and Addie singing harmonies about the heifer house. They're focused on this whole cow program and getting money for that. And they spend all and they have a whole setup in school where they're like trying to collect money for their singing, and this is kind of ridiculous. I'm just it's such a good idea to do for sure, but like the tune gets stuck in my head so hard. When I saw this episode a couple weeks ago, I could not get this out of my head. Boo hoo, give to the heifer house. Give to the heifer house. I think I would be the bass part of it. I really can't sing. Please give me a break. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what the other girls are doing.
Fair place into fundraising. And I don't mean my cutest vector. It's my idea.
It's funny talking about this while I'm like doing another video series. Like right now I'm trying to find all the cameos that older characters are in, and this main girl, Gina Melissa Joe, is really good. Like she's in iCarly, she's in Big Time Rush. I'm just like now realizing like all the parts she takes in outside of this show, and it's kind of sad because like she was starting out as a main character on this show and then never really got a main part like this again, which sucks because she's definitely quirky. I could see how she doesn't fit into any of the types they were going for later, but it always sucks when like an actress like can't fit into the zeitgeist of these shows anymore, not because of their skills, but because they just don't fit the written part, and it's just kind of sad. I just want to acknowledge that. So Addie and Gina decide the brilliant idea of bringing this cow to school, and this is where the episode gets a little wacky, and not even like that wacky. The cow like goes all throughout the school, and they even learn that a cow can't come downstairs by itself. Like if it goes upstairs, it's not able to get down. And this comes up in other sitcoms, which is crazy to me. I can't even think of them off the top of my head, but the fact that this is like a well-known fact and that they thought that teaching this to teens was necessary, I don't know how to get behind that. But yeah, that's an interesting twist. They get the cow and it can't come down some stairs. If I had a nickel for every time one of these teen shows had an episode where they adopted an animal and the animals went haywire to a point where like they couldn't do anything about it. Like I'm thinking about the horse in Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I'm thinking about the chicks in iCarly. Like how many times have this happened? Oh my god, literally the lamb, literally the goat in Drake and Josh. Like what? That's a little too common to me, if you ask.
At least Zach still has a pogo-a-thon to raise money.
I want it.
We might as well shine a light on Zach's win. Him and the other nerdy kid end up doing a pogo competition, raise a lot of money. That's great. I think that's actually a good idea. Good for Zach for finally getting a win. Every time he's not looped into Addie's plot, I feel like things work out for him.
Did you know cows can detect odors over 5 miles away? Pogo-a-thon to raise money.
Oh, it happened on Big Time Rush? What happened on Big Time Rush?
I don't like what I'm seeing here.
Best prankster of all time. He'll be right there next to me. Just hang out here. I'll be right outside if you need me. Mr. Ward is gonna be totally freaked out trying to figure out how to get you downstairs. Enough to take off the roof. Yeah. Rookie mistake. Being a prankster is harder than it looks.
The B plot is such a weird tie-in to this whole episode. It's literally Ben and his dad, where his dad's like, I used to be a prankster, and Ben's like, really? Which also was done on Life with Derek. What the heck is with all these shows and their consistent, whatever. Ben is the one who ends up getting this cow to go up the stairs just to pull the prank, which does he even realize that it's his sister's? Like, I don't know. I feel like the moral of this episode is, like, charity needs to be done for good sake and not just to get back at other people. Fair message. I didn't realize how many people were doing that to begin with, but I guess I'm not judging. And Ben gets counter-pranked by everybody at the Juice because they're all naked, which is a wild ending to any sitcom. I can't believe this even happened. Like a whole nudist experience. All around, very basic episode, but hey, basic had to come from somewhere, right guys? Yeah, Unfabulous is doing a fun job so far. Boo-hoo, give to the Heifer House. Okay. Hey, how's it going? Nebula 10,000. We both have thousands in our last names. That's kind of nice. Episode 6. Okay, let's do 7. This next episode of Unfabulous is episode 7, The Information, and this is actually one of my favorite episodes of this show, and you'll see why in a second. They end up doing something that I swear I've not really seen on a lot of sitcoms, but I do like that it came across in this one. So yes, this is another Addie is Romantic episode. This time again with Randy Klein. But hey, that's like not the genius of this episode. The genius is the musical number that's going to happen. So it starts off with this mini golf experience, and it's kind of talking about boys' night and how that can be kind of toxic. Which, now that I think about it, isn't really that fair. I hate when it's, like, a show that's, like, primarily about females, and it's all of their that sounds, like, bad. Let me try to say that in a better way, because that's not, like, how I meant it. It's so funny when there's, like, a guy character that most of the decisions he makes and, like, has to do with, in the context of the show, has to do with the main character, like Miley or Addie Singer, and then they try to like have like a guy's night out, like, and actually like be alone for a little bit, not be affected by everybody else's decisions, and then of course like they just kind of get roped back into it. That's kind of how this episode goes. Randy Klein's an interesting character because he was barely seen in the first season and then just appears now, and now is Addie's boyfriend, and he's dealing with a lot because Addie is such a handful in this specific amount of episodes. Like, she's jealous, she's angry, and I don't know, I've never seen this side of her, but I feel like it makes sense because as you're growing up, you start to, like, figure out what you value in a relationship, and she's very, like, honest with herself. Like, she is a jealous person, she wants to spend time with the boyfriend. It's sweet. They end up getting into really deep, emotional conversations that actually really reflect on the teenage experience a little bit later in this season. So this is a great, like, build up to that. Neil, what's up? Okay, hold up.
You get to know? That is so unfair.
So all the guys are talking about going to this guy's night at the mini golfing place. Addie is really upset because she's not invited, and it bothers her a lot, which it would bother me a lot. I feel like it's unfair for them to judge her for that. The guys just kind of want to hang out alone and talk about things guys want to talk about, and of course we get that little parody of like, what could they possibly want to talk about on their own? And Addie's like worried that they're talking about her or not being happy in the relationship. Fair insecurity. I would be nervous about that too. And even the janitor goes to guys' night. That's a funny joke, but it's like also just out of left field. Like there's no way that the janitor joins these teenage boys on their guys' night. That's just ridiculous. The highlight for this episode for me is definitely the musical number. So Addie is like talking about how she's curious of what these guys talk about on guys' night. Like what goes on and why is she insecure about it. So she ends up singing with the golf club in her hand, and all the boys have different colored t-shirts like the Wiggles, and this is very 2000s. And yeah, so she's singing about like how she wants to know what guys' night is like, and it's such a cute musical number. I was not expecting it. I think it's perfect to show a great example of like how Addie's mind works, and it is a little bit more theatrical. Like it's about her seeing the world through a very colorful lens, and so every time we have a musical number, it brings out that personality. If it were me, I feel like they should have that in every episode, like just something that shows what she's going through and her singing her way out of it. But they didn't seem to take singing as seriously back then. I feel like they were focused on getting a good show. This was like before Disney Channel really lifted all of these stars up into a singing career. But yeah, Addie is such a good singer. So Addie ends up really wanting to figure out what these guys are talking about. So she gets, not Maris. God, what's the other girl's name?
Don't tell me. I haven't watched last week's episode yet. Addie, this is stupid. Just eat a mango and you'll think for yourself. Boy got a home cook. I spent all lunch making that. You did? I wondered why I was gonna dump you. What? Mary, I'm so sorry to have to tell you.
This is where it kind of gets out of pocket. Addie brings her fears into Mary Fairy's reality, where she's like, don't you think your boyfriend's talking about breaking up with us without us there? And of course, this girl's concerned. She's like, what the heck? And so Addie essentially convinces her to go to Man Golf with them. Oh my god, thank you, chat, for telling me who Mary Fairy was. Honestly, that would have been helpful 2 seconds ago. Not your fault. I wasn't looking. And yeah, so Addie convinces this girl to come with them. And of course, like, they end up not catching any important information. By the way, this episode's called The Information. Cute, but does that really reflect what the episode's like about? I wish it was just called like Guys Night or something. Same thing with the last episode, The Road Trip, when you're not going anywhere, you're just staying within the house. Like, could we just name these a little bit better? It's too generic to a fault, honestly. But yeah, as you can imagine, this time when they actually spy on the guys, Randy ends up finding out. All the guys are a little disappointed because she didn't respect their privacy. And yeah, I mean, I would feel left out, but I wouldn't take it to the extent that Addie did. So the rest of the episode just becomes about her trying to make it up to Mary Fairy and the rest of the guys, because apparently Mary Fairy and her boyfriend break up because of this. Oh my god, Addie, not cool. So yeah, everybody ends up making up by the end of the episode. It's just like, what did it take to get there? And why is the episodes that I really like happen to be when the main character is a horrible person? Like, I hate that, but unfortunately it makes for great comedy and I like it. So I don't hate it, I guess. Yeah, Randy Klein and Addie make up and everything is sweet.
You and Tiara. Right. Don't need to know everything. It's great how we can all go out like this.
And we learned about the gender differences and how to respect each other's boundaries based on what they want to talk about. Very interesting topic. I feel like it could go the other way around too, where it's like there's a girls episode where guys can realize that they don't necessarily fit into that conversation because that's the story of my life. No, I'm just kidding. Well, actually, I'm not. Anyway, so yeah, that's the information. Dang. What's up, Neil? Neil Nebula. Sorry, guys. I'm like catching up on Unfabulous while I'm doing the video.
Congratulations. Oh, I'm sorry. My mistake. You're not invited.
But
Rude.
I'm class president.
Maybe next year. Gotta keep my phone. Totally. Congratulations.
You're invited to Madison Cranberry's Halloween Spooktacular.
What about Abby? We thought long and hard about whether to let you come.
Especially after last year's perfect girl to boy ratio.
Eskimos, man. Fine. Even if I kiss every guy at school.
I don't like Halloween. It's just blackmail.
And you're gonna spend the
I'm not wearing Sims.
Okay, so for episode 8, this one's actually a really fun one. It's a Halloween episode, essentially. It's called The Dark Side. And it starts out really crazy, and I do not think that teen shows would do this anymore. Because, like, it's just kind of a more adult topic. It's like going to a party and then how you deal with jealousy. Like, with Addie and Randy. She's, like, not comfortable giving him his own space, so it's a lot about her meddling in his experiences, which is crazy. Maris and Cranberry are having a Halloween party, and they always play Spin the Bottle. Apparently, Addie has only embarrassed everybody in the years following, so they never had her back. They really don't want to invite her, so they invite everybody but her. Kind of rude. Addie's not that bad. So Addie is determined to make sure that she gets the kiss with her boyfriend that she needs to get. Gina helps her out by saying, like, hey, there's nothing random about Spin the Bottle, which is an interesting concept. And she's like, there's a way to rig this so that every time it like circles, it could land on the same person, which is very comical. I love the idea that that's even possible. But yeah, so Gina essentially puts Addie through training to make sure that she can get the bottle to always land on her. That way she could share a kiss with Randy, her boyfriend, and nobody else gets stuck with him. I don't even know why this is like fair game for cheating. Like, can we just talk about the fact that like if you're committed to somebody, I think any scenario where you kiss somebody else is an issue. So Randy goes to this party dressed as Darth Vader, and okay, cool. Addie does everything exactly as she should. She ends up spinning the bottle, getting it to land on Darth Vader, and they end up going to the closet for like 20 seconds. And it's like, okay, see, this is what I think would not be on a modern tween show. Like, I do like that we're like covering a topic like this because I feel like teenagers would pull off something like this. But it is crazy to look back on and be like, wow, like they were not afraid to talk about their experiences. So Addie goes into the closet with Darth Vader and they supposedly kiss. And, you know, a couple minutes later, she comes out and the whole episode feels solved, right? Well, wrong. There's more than one Darth Vader. So it turns out she might not have kissed Randy. And even bigger shock, it turns out Jake Bahari was also at this party dressed as Darth Vader. And this is where we get to the complicated territory because Addie is very protective of her boyfriend, Randy, and really doesn't want any guy to go near him. So that's like her big thing. Suddenly, she's convinced she might have kissed somebody else herself and is really concerned about this and wants to hide it. So it's not like she's given the same respect that she would want, which is crazy because it's like, clearly if you just be honest about everything, like, it would make sense. Addie kind of goes off on her own and is really ashamed of what she did. Jake ends up talking to her, and they have like this good one-on-one moment, which they have not had in like at least a season. But you could tell there's like a little bit of care there. Like I think there's something romantic still going on with Addie and Jake. He admits that they definitely didn't kiss. It couldn't have been him. So it was Randy. So Addie was freaking out for no reason. But we do kind of have insight on the fact that she felt guilty, which means there was something to feel guilty about. Oof, gosh, Addie, you're in some deep water. So yeah, this whole party turns into a big guilt trip for Addie, and she feels horrible. Crap, hold on.
Mary, Fairy, and Dwayne's relationship may be on the rocks, but at least I know I'm with the right guy.
Hey, your costume's exactly like mine.
Did your helmet have a voice changer?
Yeah, mine had everything, except this part doesn't light up.
Yeah, mine doesn't either. Light up panel is too expensive.
I could tell by his kiss, it had to be him. I could tell by his eyes, no, I couldn't see them. But even in the dark, how could I deny?
Oh my gosh. It kind of ends up being sweet where we find out that Jake actually did lie to Addie and they did kiss because he's the only one with the light up Darth Vader thing. Randy says that he didn't get the light up Darth Vader thing. Oh my god, look at me being a 25-year-old, being a 28-year-old talking about how they're kissing the wrong people. What has my life become? So it turns out that Jake lied and it was them who shared a kiss, but he was just trying to spare her feelings. Not sure if that's romantic or I don't even know what to make of that, honestly. Point of the story is Addie and Jake kissed. She cheated, didn't realize it happened. Don't know. This is crazy to me, honestly. So yeah, that's the dark side. Definitely a very interesting Halloween episode to go around. I didn't even realize Unfabulous had an episode like this, but after the information episode where Addie was like so intent on getting personal info from her boyfriend Randy, and yet this episode she's like going out of her way to hide information from Randy. I feel like it's not really fair, Addie, but that is a very good representation of the teenage experience because you don't understand boundaries or what's fair or what's not fair because you only know what you're given, which definitely a good reflection of how this show is. Okay, hold on. Now I gotta get into the next episode, but I can't do it without the charger. I'm gonna have to switch my cams, guys. It's gonna look ugly for a sec. Okay. I'm gonna take it to an uglier camera. Sorry. Oh, gosh, this is so gross. I'm sorry, guys. I have to look a little gross for a couple minutes just because I need my computer to charge. But thanks for sticking with me. Okay. So... get this next episode. What the heck?
I was just trying to do the right thing. But sometimes, it's hard to figure out what the right thing is.
My pitching hand! My beautiful pitching hand!
Oh yeah, I ruined Coach Pearson's life too. Well, Brandywine's life.
Remember?
Wow, this is kind of funny. Okay, so next we have number 9, the gray area, and this one actually starts off pretty funny. So we see Princess Brandywine and her coach Pearson working a 9 to 5 job that's not school. It's literally like a fast food burger joint, and she admits that this is all because of her actions, which I find a wacky beginning. Like, this is insane. She ruined multiple people's lives just by saying this one thing. Great cold open, honestly, because I'm really curious where this goes. We learn that there's been a new teacher, a new principal that has started working here at their school, and it's Miss Briggs. Oh my gosh, this poor actress. This woman who plays Miss Briggs and a million other teachers and a million other shows is the most typecast person I could ever imagine. Like, this is so not fair. They like do not give her any other parts. She's definitely like a hardball and going really hard on this new principal, which is kind of revealing a lot of information. It makes me feel like that the school is about to change for the worse because of Addie's actions, even furthering my confusion with how this is going to go. Wait. Oh. Sorry. Actions even furthering my confusion with how this is going to go? Okay.
Two go in, one come. Good news, cheerladies. Step 2 on the road to school spirit is a school-wide contest to redesign the cheerleader uniforms. And the winning designer will become the 6th and final member of the spirit family. Cheetah. Roll, baby, go to school. My mom drives the cartoon I draw. The lock is on the back, the light is
On this journey.
Ozark is for the winner of our new school anthem contest. Melvin Schnell, 2 votes. Addie Singer, 312 votes. Congratulations, Addie. Not only have you won the fabulous dinner, you're also the newest member of the Spirit Panel. We will meet
Interesting. So we think this episode's about to be about getting a new principal, which isn't necessarily true. So they have a competition, basically, because they're going to change the cheerleaders' uniforms, and they don't know what it's going to be changed to, but they decide to have a talent competition between all the students to figure out who deserves to be the judge and actually decide who it becomes. Kind of a convoluted way to decide something like that, but I'm not here to judge. I don't go to their school. So they have this like outdoor talent show, which, by the way, this would not have worked in my high school. Like, I feel like if you had a bunch of people just singing in front of the whole class, being the teenagers that they are, would probably mock, bully, and make fun of everybody that stood up to sing, let alone like give them a chance to win. This is kind of like an adult's ideal world, you could tell, like from a writing standpoint, because I don't think any of us would have wanted to do this. This is kind of a nightmare to think you would have to sing in front of all your peers. Good for Addie for actually doing it. But yeah, she ends up winning the right to choose who is going to make the cheerleading uniforms. And it comes between Gina and Maris, which is kind of crazy because Addie's worried about her reputation and like being super biased because Gina is her best friend. Meanwhile, Maris, if she voted for her, she would seem a lot less calculated about it. So it's all about Addie worrying about her reputation and what she should do with it. She hesitates to even let Gina win this, which is kind of sad. I feel like it makes sense because obviously you want fairness at this stage in your life. You want to make sure that everybody is treated equally. But you do have best friends, and it is important to like stick your loyalty. Like, there's a reason you're friends with them because you probably do prefer their style and like what they go about. But Addie like tries to go completely the opposite direction and convince everybody that like she is so impartial that it almost matters more than her friendship with Gina. And that's kind of a sad story to tell, honestly.
something pretty what you need. Besides me. This is the worst design.
Should have known better.
So the whole panel consists of Principal Brandywine, Addie, and Coach Pearson, and they're the ones who get to decide who do it. So Gina and Maris both pretty much try to woo them over and do a bunch of manipulation tactics to make sure they're the ones voted for, which is so funny. It becomes this like political mess somehow. The moral of the story, Addie actually says earlier in this episode, and she is like, it's hard to choose something for the right reasons. Like, whether you're trying to be fair, whether you're trying to be honest and fair are like two completely different beasts, which is a hard thing to wrap around your head.
Bottomless fixins. Bets.
I quit Spirit Panel. Oh no. Now when are you gonna hang out with your new best friend Maris? Gina, I purposely voted for Maris because she wasn't my best friend. I should have voted for you.
So Addie and Gina essentially break up because Addie tells her that she's not going to vote for her and just like kind of keep that reputation going. That is not a good friend, I'm telling you right now. So later she ends up becoming closer to Maris and going out with her. So it's like, what is really happening? Addie is like committing too much to this new choice she just made, and it's not looking good on her part. Gina actually confronts her, which I actually like about this character. I feel like Gina is very honest and open immediately when she learns that like something is going on that's not right, and you definitely need that in a best friend. Like, Gina is very loyal.
Was the cherry on top of the stuffed cake known as our school spirit? This crispy yummer.
Of course, there's a lot of pressure on this whole choice because of this new principal that's coming in, and Principal Brandywine and Pearson end up becoming fired from the school, which seems like it was Addie's fault, but now that we saw the events play out, it really doesn't have anything to do with her. It's this really bad principal that's kind of evil. In the end, everything turns out okay, and they end up going with Gina's choice for the cheerleading outfit, which is actually really sweet. And yeah, Addie learns her lesson that, like, just because it's fair doesn't mean you should go out of your way to do something inauthentic to do it. Very sweet, very cool episode, and everything gets back to the way it was, which is nice.
Quiet, Melvin.
The episode ends with them having, like, really awkward frog-based outfits, which, oh my gosh, that's such a weird, solve to this episode. All around, it's, like, nice to have, like, a really sweet concept, because a lot of it's been romantic or this, but the fact that it's about Addie making like a important decision, the gray area being like who she wants to vote for versus who she should vote for. In this scenario, it's both. So I don't think Addie was like faced with a big decision anyway. I think she just was morally worried about her reputation more than how this whole thing went down. Yeah, so let's move on from this episode because it's not that worth talking about.
Press star 7.
So lucky. I wish I was her. I wish I had a... Yeah, totally. I always thought that having a perfect boyfriend meant smooth sailing.
Smooth.
Ew, salt and pepper shakers?
It's the thought that counts, right?
Right.
Wrong. The thought, I hope you're not too mad at me because I stood you up the juice is...
Episode 10, The Perfect Couple, is where Unfabulous gets unnecessarily real and... What would I even say? It's like... real and... grounded about its advice. It starts out with Addie seeing herself on the Titanic with her boyfriend, Randy Klein, and it's like when she first starts having doubts about her relationship. Having the episode be called The Perfect Couple really intrigues me and wants to see how this goes. Everybody in school honors Addie because she's in the perfect relationship. Everybody's jealous of her, which I don't know why Randy Klein is such a big deal, but she wears it like a badge of honor, even as a picture of him in her locker. And then they go on the SS Tipton. Just kidding. But no, the SS relationship. That Titanic reference is really awesome to me. In the B plot, we actually get insight onto Zach's love life. So he is actually dating somebody himself, but this girl is a year older than him, and they only want to talk on the phone. So she's kind of ashamed to be around him because he's younger, and it makes me feel bad. Like, that's kind of a sad story. He's, like, trying to get closer to her, but it doesn't work because she's like, no, like, I can't be seen with you. If you want to date me, that's just what you have to deal with. And it's like, oh, okay. Meanwhile, Addie starts to test Randy because she's insecure that maybe just because they're the perfect couple doesn't mean they like each other enough. So she starts to wonder if she even knows anything about him. So they do a bunch of tests, or he knows anything about her. Like, does he even really like her? So she starts to put him through a bunch of tests where she's like talking about her interests, and he fails at literally every turn. It kind of gets a little depressing if you ask me. But this is, like, so real. I remember being in relationships in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, even 14th grade about dating somebody just because, like, you think it's necessary or the right choice, and really you're just, like, trying to mold yourself to be somebody you're not to fit in this relationship. That's kind of how I feel Addie's going about this, especially with how intense she is about relationships. It seems like there's too much overthinking to even realize if you like your partner. Kind of sad, but, you know, kind of real.
Hey, Randy. What are you doing tomorrow night?
Randy starts not actually showing up for Addie, having her actually question their relationship. She's like, let's go skating tomorrow night. And he's not even like, and he's just trying to, like, make it up to her and be like, yeah, like, we definitely, like, I do care about you and I want to treat you right. And so it's like, okay, cool. We have, like, this objective thing that they need to be in a relationship for. Great. So she ends up going to the skating party and he doesn't show up, actually causing her to be furious. This is, like, the second time he's done this. And now she's like, who am I actually with? Later, she's, like, angry at him. He's not answering the phone. And then she learns that he got into one of his another classic Randy Klein accidents from season 1, where he was just never seen because he was always in a new accident. Which, by the way, that would be a really hard couple to maintain, if you ask me. So Addie is, like, determined on breaking up with him, and it almost, like, makes sense to her now. So after she, like, visits him in the hospital, she almost is, like, guilty that she still wants to break up with him, despite the fact that, like, he technically hasn't done anything wrong. So it's pure compatibility as an issue here.
Did she leave you for a jock? Coach, I am a jock. Right. I knew that. You had the chili dog at lunch today.
There's a really random scene where Coach Pearson is actually talking to Zach and trying to get advice on his relationship and why she won't talk to him, and he's really not helpful. If anything, he's just, like, kind of being depressing. He's like, did she leave you for a jock? And he's like, I am a jock. It's just such a weird side scene that Zach doesn't really need.
I brought you something. You're nice and funny.
So even though everything ends up working out, Addie still feels a little empty. They go on a date, give each other gifts, and she's like, Randy, like, do we actually know or care about each other? Like, what is this really?
Yeah. Maybe I'll help.
Do you want to cry? Because
We get really circled around back to the Titanic metaphor, and she ends up breaking up with him, which is actually really sad. And they remain friends, which I don't think is super realistic. I think people get angry at each other for stuff like that. But yeah, she's assuming she's about to cry, and oh, it's really depressing. to think that like she's going through a breakup like this, but you know that like she really didn't care about him to begin with. So it's a really honest, in a brutal way, episode about how teenagers really will just like pair off just for the need to do so. And I feel like a lot of TV shows don't do it this well or shine a light on this topic. So it is cool that Unfabulous does it so well. Zach ends up winning over the girl he likes by having a bunch of flowers in front of all the cheerleaders. And it actually kind of works. That's nice. And I forgot that the cheerleaders are still wearing these frog costumes. Like, why in the world would this be your cheerleader outfit? Come on, guys. But yeah, sweet episode. It's nice that it goes this way. It gets depressing in a really sweet way, honestly. And we're gonna see more about this like aftermath of Addie's breakup with Randy Klein, which I'm excited to get into. But yeah, this is a really pivotal episode in the series. Considering we're almost like halfway through this whole show. Like this is episode 35, and there's only I don't know, like I think 50 episodes max. Like this is crazy that this is such a big point in it. Where she only gets to direct the play.
Termite infestation.
Come on, come on.
We will be putting on a 7th grade musical.
Yes.
Oh my god. This next episode is crazy, guys. Okay, who's still here with me? Who's in the chat? Because we're about to get crazy with another episode. Okay.
Coaching was just a fallback. I'm directing.
Pirates of Penzance.
Okay, I'm refreshing on this episode because this is a special one. It's kind of weird.
In order to get into character, I'm going to be a 47-year-old. Please sign this note getting me out of school.
Here, girl.
Ruby, from now on, when I talk, zip your lips and listen.
When pirates all are well to do.
Hey guys, what were you talking about? Well, last night after rehearsal, we all went to Youngberg.
Hey, what's up, Hollow? Oh my god, this is crazy, guys.
Next time, we can try to sound more like a... I don't know what you're...
Okay. This one kind of makes me sad considering we just like had a full-on breakup episode. So episode 11 is called The Drama, and I recently did a video on my channel covering all the theater episodes of teen sitcoms, and I can't believe I missed this one. It's literally called The Drama. This is insane. But yeah, it becomes more of like a Gina versus Addie situation, and all while they're putting on this performance of yeah, the Pirates of Penzance. Let's jump into it because I really can't jump around this too much. I'm a big musical fan. Not sure if you guys know this about me, but like I've produced 3 musicals in my life, and I'm just finishing up my 3rd musical right now, and I really, really love the art of combining stage lyrics. You know, whatever, it's cool. So you're gonna get a little bit pretentious Johnny coming out of here for this episode. But hey, I'm passionate about it. I used to do it in high school. Did you guys? Please comment in the video if you were partaking in theater. As if that's a bad thing. So yeah, Princess... Oh my god, I almost called her Princess. So Principal Brandywine is telling the entire school that they're going to be putting on a new musical, and just, I guess, everybody has to be involved. If this was a real-life scenario, a lot of us wouldn't be involved. I feel like only 30% of the school population likes to be in theater. So this is kind of rare. Addie and Gina want to get involved. With both of them auditioning for the lead part. Coach Pearson just happens to be the one in charge, and he's the perfect guy to play the theater teacher. Literally the coach. I can't believe this is even happening. Only this would happen in like a public school. Pirates of Penzance is a really specific show. It's very old, so people get the rights to it like for very cheap, and it's done in a lot of high schools. It's a pirate related show, not Pirates of the Caribbean, but like just old school pirates. And the music is actually really mature for a middle school to put on. I can't believe they're even doing this. But yeah, that's my rant about the actual show itself. Addie wants to be in it, but Coach Pearson is not going to cast her. He actually casts Gina as the main part, and instead asks Addie if she wants to direct it instead. Okay. So Addie decides to be this director, not really realizing how much power issues it might come with. So she takes out her frustrations on Gina as the main character, while she's like become this big bossy person in the theatrical community, which is true. Like, everybody gets a little pretentious when it comes to putting up a stage and like putting out art that represents them, which to me is like kind of a weird allegation of power. I don't think we should view art that way. I definitely think we should not be competitive with it. Jake Bahari is the main guy actually having to kiss Gina on stage, which actually fuels a lot of fire into Addie, because she's like, how dare she? Which is crazy. I don't know why girls turn against each other for something that nobody has any control over. Like, it's not fair to just blame somebody, but fine. Addie gets a little crazy with power and almost isolates her friends the closer this show comes to production. And she doubles down a lot. Like, I don't know why she keeps like turning further and further against her friends because this show has to be good. Like, it definitely feels a little out of character for her. Having like a moment with Jake actually gets her to realize that she's taking this a little too seriously, and despite having like just broken up with her boyfriend, she starts falling for him again. Oh my god. Gina ends up getting hurt, which actually screws the show over a lot, and Addie realizes how important it is that they actually work together in order to get the show to go up, because if it's a one-woman show, it's really not going to be worth it. So Addie ends up being a part of the dress rehearsal, actually trying to fill in for Gina's part, but does a really bad job. Once she gets over her jealousy and the show actually goes on, it becomes like a really nice time, and Gina and Addie actually get over their differences, with Addie realizing a little bit further that maybe there is future with Jake, especially since she got so jealous with him and Gina. Like, this is clearly going to be a problem unless they resolve it. And I don't know, like, of course they have to have chemistry. Jake's finally single, she's single. They're not ready to talk about it yet, but I feel like something's definitely coming on between them. So yeah, nice to have a theatrical episode about putting on the school show. I definitely feel like it's a crazy point of contention between like two teenagers to fight over, but so real, because of course that would happen in a school setting like that. The competitiveness, the cattiness of it all, like, it brings out the worst in people, and not in a bad way. I mean, it's fun to bring out the worst in people because it builds character to try to take that part down. And Addie's had a lot of moments in this season so far where she has to kind of be the bigger person or look at herself in the mirror and be like, wow, I'm not acting in a very mature way. Maybe there's like deeper, darker intentions behind here, but this person does not deserve it. And I like that. I like seeing Addie being tested and how she actually manages to like overcome it. It definitely is a great experience for her character. Now that we're fully letting go of the Randy Klein premise and actually allowing ourselves to get back on the Jake Bahari train, it feels like things are about to take a really big turn for the better and worse in a way. So stick around as we jump to the next episode. Only 3 away from really being done this second season. And then there's only one more season. So stick around, because Unfabulous is getting to its peak. Okay, guys, I'm going to take a quick break from the stream because it looks like it's getting a little too overcrowded. But thank you guys for watching. I might come back on if I could do another video, but in the meantime, thank you guys, and I'll see you soon.